Yeah, because the thing is, like, when you mention like having a big idea, right? Something came to mind for me. It was like when I got this space, I thought I was gonna make music in here.
I could see that.
But then when I started like building it and like designing it, I was like, I wonder if I should just make it into like a podcast room. And then like before I even took it, like I didn't think that I was gonna do podcasts.
Yeah.
Like I mean I had in mind that like I want to eventually do podcasts, but then now that I actually have the space, I'm like, maybe I'll just do podcasts instead of music in here. I mean, I can still do music at home.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I think one of those things that is just like sometimes you like gotta jump, and then once you jump, and like everything kind of make, I guess, a little bit more sense, right? Because if I didn't take this space, like I don't know, like I'd probably just be doing the same shit that I was already doing. And like I just felt like I needed to take that risk.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh shit, like more money to pay the rent. I'm like, I'm just gonna have to figure shit out. Like fuck it, like, you know what I mean? But yeah.
And then you like the full surrender and trust into it. And I want my mentor, my teacher, her name is Amber Campion, and one of my favorite things she actually said, and because I was kind of in that place as well of like, I just gotta leap and I just gotta like know that the landing is gonna be there essentially.
Exactly.
And one of my favorite things she says is, you have no fucking idea if that landing is gonna be there. And it could not be. You could fall. And it's like, how do you rise from that fall?
Yeah.
How do you like raise up from those things? Like you take the jump and you trust and you full surrender, and 9 times out of 10 it's probably gonna fucking like show up for you. But sometimes it shows up for you by failing first.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's like, that's one of the biggest things I feel like I have had to learn throughout this whole process is like, and it's very, I don't know if you guys follow kind of like Hindu mythology or even like read any kind of the yogic text of whatever it may be. Like, if you know the god Ganesh, right? The elephant, he's the remover and like, he's the destroyer of obstacles, but he also puts obstacles in your way for your highest good, for your evolvement. So I feel like there's a lot of that, like, I'm going to jump, I'm going to trust, I'm going to surrender. And if I fall, I pivot. I just go, I move. And it's like, and to me, like, to be an entrepreneur is inherently creative because you're always having to create. You're always having to think more. You have to think on your feet. But like, would you agree that it makes you feel more like involved in your life?
Yes. And it's because like, if it's too easy, you could easily just get like bored, right?
Yeah.
Like if I've already done this like so many times, I'm just so good at it. Like there's no challenge.
Yeah.
Like you can't get better. There's no progression if you're not getting challenged.
Complacency.
Exactly.
I feel like complacency is a way better word for that. Like ease, like I understand what you're saying by like it's not easy, but I like the complacency because like I think there should be a level of ease, like you right? You feel calm and ease. You might feel in the pressure cooker, but there's still this like center space of like, I know, like I know this is the path. And like, I guess that comes back to trust and surrender. It's a really, really fascinating way to live life. And I think it's like, whether you call it spiritual or just like mindful, or you're just like, I'm just living life, like whatever it is, like I gravitate, and I was really excited to be on this podcast after hearing your guys' initial conversation, because I was like, oh, they're the big talkers. They're the people who are like show up and like vulnerability and emotion. Yeah,
because honestly, it's yes, like I do think that, but then it's like I don't know how people react to like this like hearing this conversation.
Right.
You know, like you never know what resonates for people. That's why exactly. Exactly. But then when you said that, like, oh, big talkers, like hell yeah, like fuck, like nobody. I mean, there's not a lot of people that are like talking about this kind of stuff.
It's true.
Or the people that do are already very successul, like Jay Shetty, like one of your, like, you know,
like
somebody
the big podcasts. And
yeah,
all
but
that stuff.
Who's to say that can't be you?
Yeah.
Why the fuck not?
Oh, I already know. So.
Exactly. You already know.
I already know.